Jake Paul just lost his entire fan base, his hype, and pretty much every ounce of dignity he had left after Mike Tyson publicly humiliated him. And no, I'm not talking about the official fight set for November 15th. This happened at the Anthony Joshua fight, when Mike cornered Jake behind the ring and gave him a verbal beatdown for being a complete clown. Jake's been releasing those fake fat body videos and wasting time creating clickbait instead of actually training. Meanwhile, the whole world is gearing up for what's supposed to be his career-defining match. Tyson wasn't having any of it and did what needed to be done. He basically gave Jake a brutal wake-up call, because Jake Paul has always been the guy who loves to push buttons, but this time, he pushed the wrong one, big time. His latest genius move was to pretend to have some bloated, fat body look, trying to mock Mike Tyson's age and health issues. Classic Jake, right? Always ready to troll his way into attention. But here's where he messed up. Tyson isn't some keyboard warrior who'll just throw back a snappy comeback. Mike is the kind of guy who's built a legacy of shutting people up in the ring, not on Twitter. So when Jake decided to take a cheap shot at Tyson's physique, he basically signed up for a one-way trip to embarrassment.
500 pounds, I'm the strongest heavyweight in existence. No Ooh, there you go, you got it.
Mike didn't just roll his eyes and move on, nope. Instead, he threw Jake an offer that would make him regret ever opening his mouth, a so-called friendly sparring session. Now Jake, being Jake, probably thought he'd waltz in, throw a few weak punches, get some laughs, and then go back to flexing his rented Lambos on Instagram. But Tyson wasn't there for some social media banter. This was personal. He was ready to make Jake eat every disrespectful word he'd ever said. And then some. The second Jake stepped into that ring, you could practically see the regret wash over his face. And oh boy, did it go south. What Jake probably thought was going to be some light-hearted, playful exchange quickly turned into a full-on masterclass in boxing. Tyson was on another level, slipping, ducking, throwing combos like it was 1995 again. For a dude pushing 60, Tyson was moving like a wrecking ball with the feet, and poor Jake didn't even know what hit him. He was expecting a couple of taps and maybe some grunting. What he got instead was a brutal reality check. It was almost comical watching Jake try to land a punch while Tyson was bobbing around him like a whirlwind, probably thinking, who let this kid in the ring? And it didn't take long before Tyson dropped the hammer. Out of nowhere, he landed a combo so fast and so clean, Jake probably didn't even know he got hit until he was kissing the canvas. His legs gave out, and for a split second, the whole room went dead silent. It wasn't just a knockdown, it was a moment of pure, unfiltered reality. All that trash talk? Gone. All those viral callouts and social media jabs? Worthless. Right then and there, you could see Jake's bravado crumble as he lay sprawled out, struggling to piece together what just happened. And that was just the beginning of his misery. He somehow managed to pull himself back up, trying to shake it off like it was no big deal. But every time he squared up again, Tyson would slip one of Jake's desperate swings and just tap him back down to earth. Even when Mike was holding back, taking it easy, Jake looked like he was fighting a ghost. It was almost painful to watch him flail around, completely out of his depth. But what made it even worse was that this wasn't supposed to be some showdown in front of a roaring crowd. This was just a sparring session, meant to see if Jake could hold his own against a legend. What really took it to the next level of humiliation was the fact that Tyson's team, guys like Rafael Cordero and the legendary Teddy Atlas, were all there, watching this whole disaster unfold. These are people who've trained champions, seen fighters at the peak of their careers, and here they were, staring at Jake like he was an overconfident amateur who somehow stumbled into the wrong gym. At one point, you could see Paulie Malignaggi just shaking his head, muttering, "This isn't going to end well for Jake." And oh boy, was he right. It was like watching a bad movie unfold, one where the hero gets absolutely annihilated 5 minutes in, and you're left wondering if this is actually a comedy.
Or square off so Tyson could recover.
The craziest part? This whole mess was never supposed to go public. It was meant to be a low-key assessment for Jake before the big fight in November. Instead, it turned into a full-blown roast session, where Tyson used every move in the book to show Jake he had no business stepping into the ring. Even with Tyson operating at half speed, Jake was getting schooled in front of everyone. It wasn't just that he lost, it was how he lost. Every jab, every slip, every counter was Tyson saying, "You don't belong here, kid." And Jake knew it too. You could see it in his eyes after every failed attempt to land a hit, that dawning realization that he was completely outclassed. The guy's known for pushing buttons, but this time he hit a new low, mocking Mike Tyson's age and throwing shade at his health. Standing in front of a swarm of reporters, Jake put on his best smug face, and with that signature cocky smirk, actually had the nerve to ask Tyson, "What's up with that menopause break you had to take, huh?" I mean, really? He was referring to that brief hiatus Tyson took earlier this year because of a minor illness that, surprise, surprise, Tyson never even felt the need to explain to the public. And of course, Jake didn't stop there. No, he ramped up the disrespect like it was a challenge. "Your tummy hurt?" he sneered, like some playground bully poking at a kid half his size. You could practically feel the cringe ripple through the room. Jake actually stood there, staring Tyson down, and kept pushing it. "Needed a little break because your tummy hurt?" For a second, everything froze. Tyson's face didn't even flinch, except for the slightest twitch of his eyebrow, a micro expression that, if Jake had any sense, should have sent him running. But Jake misread it completely. He saw Tyson's silence and thought, "Yup, I got him. Like, seriously." He then topped it off with, "Still feel like the baddest man on the planet now, old man." That line alone sent the media into a frenzy. Suddenly, ESPN and Bleacher Report were all over it, posting clips of Jake trying to roast Tyson like he'd actually pulled off some legendary mic drop moment. For Jake, this was just more fuel for the hype machine, another way to stir the pot before their November 15th fight at the AT&T Arena. But Tyson just sat there, grinned like he was watching a toddler throw a tantrum, and gave a little nod, like, "Okay, kid, keep yapping. I've heard it all before." And here's the thing, Jake should have picked up on that. Should have realized that when a guy like Tyson smiles at you after you've insulted him, it's not a good sign. Nope, it means you're in for something a lot worse than a verbal comeback. But Jake kept running his mouth, convinced that mocking Tyson's health and calling him a washed-up has-been was somehow going to throw him off. It's almost laughable when you think about it now.
This is what it's all about for me, man. I'm a kid from Ohio.
But Jake's obsession with Tyson's age didn't stop there. He ran with it like it was some brilliant theme for his press tour. Kept calling Tyson a washed-up grandpa and pulling out every cliche in the book. On August 25th, he even pulled out this fake medical report during a live stream, acting like it was some big leak from Tyson's camp. The thing listed absurd stuff like weak knees and low testosterone. It was something you'd expect from a third-rate prankster, not someone gearing up for a fight with a living legend and ending up being humiliated.